At this point, it's not just Kotaku. It is the media in general running full damage control for Sweet Baby Inc. And I know, I heard on a couple streams yesterday, some people say, oh, I'm getting tired of the Sweet Baby Inc. discourse. I'm burnt out on it. That is the goal. That is their plan. They're going to sit there. They're going to wait 1 week for all of this to potentially die down, for them to get tired of YouTubers commentating on it. And then that's when Kotaku, that's when PC Gamer, that's when all these individuals start putting out these hit piece articles that start making it seem like you are a fringe minority, that you're just part of a small underlying issue, that, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. And then when you get tired of watching it, when you get tired of hearing about it, when you get tired of clicking on these videos, they reshape the narrative and they make you think that you're the crazy one. They make the rest of the world think that you are the crazy ones, that you are just some fringe minority, and I'm not gonna have that. So if you're getting tired of the Sweet Baby Inc. discourse, then start speaking up and stop refusing to watch the videos, or stop saying you're tired of the discourse, because this is at this point a full-on war. This is a culture war, and it's one that we are on the side that's about to win. We are on the cusp of victory, so we cannot rest now. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and why do I bring all this up? Why are we still talking about Sweet Baby Inc.? Because now the PC Gamer, that outlet, the shill media, PC Gamer, is running this article. A company called Sweet Baby Inc. has become the target of anti-woke gamers because it offers consultancy work, an industry service that's been normal for years. Now, before we even get to the article, before we go through what it says, because I'm not even going to cover the entire article, let's be real, it's going to say the same inane things that Kotaku said, and that all the shill media outlets are saying, and that everyone that's a journalist on X is saying. But let's analyze this title. An industry standard service that's been around and been normal for years. Well, what about Little Platoon? Little Platoon said something brilliant on this. This headline is like saying a man has become the target of protests for cutting up meat, a practice standard among butchers for years, and burying the fact that the meat he's been cutting into is human. It doesn't matter where you stand on the merits of Sweet Baby Inc., this is lying by omission, and that is exactly what I'm getting at. They're going to frame this in a way that makes you seem like you are overreacting, that you're a reactionary, that you're crazy, that you're some sort of crazy right-wing misogynist, despite the fact that, last I checked, Cabrutus, the man that started the curation page, is Brazilian, so it's not even like he's a white guy. I'm pretty sure South Americans are considered Latino, but, you know, they're not going to talk about that. Once again, lying by omission, because, hey, this company, these corporations that want to shill for all the minority votes and for all the minority appeal, they're not going to talk about the fact that somebody who would be considered in the U.S. a minority is the one that started this curation page. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's see what they got to say. If you're gently confused as to why everyone was upset at an allegedly sweet baby, then you're certainly not alone. No one was confused. They're already starting off being disingenuous. They let this marinate. They let this boil over for a week before they started making these articles, before they said, okay, now that it seems like it's kind of dying down, we can spark this, we can write this and pretend this is just a new controversy, despite the fact that people who are actually invested, people who care, have been talking about for over a week. Over 200,000 supporters on the Sweet Baby Inc. curation page before this article even came to fruition. But they lie about that as well. As per a Kotaku report, yes, because using Kotaku as your source, that's exactly what you want to do. That's how you say, hey, look at us, look at our credible journalism. Our source is Kotaku. Credibility! On the subject yesterday, a Steam group has picked up traction to tunnel around 70,000 members. Now, even if you want to say, well, hey, they were using Kotaku as their source, even Kotaku acknowledged over 100,000, so not only was it almost 200,000 when Kotaku wrote the article, they said just over 100,000. We got PC Gamer here cutting it at 70,000, undercutting it by, at this point, 130,000, and if you want to say, by the time they were looking at the Kotaku article, still undercutting it by about 30,000. This is them outright lying. This isn't even lying by omission like it was earlier, what Platoon was talking about. This is just flat out lies. They want to make these numbers seem small. And granted, 70,000, that's a decent sized number, but if you compare 70,000 to 200,000, that's a notable difference. At the time of writing, it's called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, as if to warn discerning consumers of invasive DRM or something. Instead of warning against potentially sketchy software, though, these concerned gamers have instead perceive a rising tide of ideology that's somehow taken over the industry by force. It's not perception. I mean, sure, you could say, hey, we perceive it because it is happening. It is not something that, hey, this is a weird fringe conspiracy theory. You got individuals all over the globe talking about it. When you had the people that are making Stellar Blade come out and saying they see this, and that's why they are making Stellar Blade, or that's why they're not kowtowing to the mob when making Stellar Blade, is because even in the East, they see this rising tide of, forced diversity, of DEI, of ideology, of whatever you want to call it. This is the stuff that just destroys escapism and has no place in gaming. You want to talk about this sort of stuff? By all means, I'm all for it. You want to have these sort of left-leaning ideologies and opinions? By all means, you're allowed to have those. Keep it on the campaign trail. Talk about it when talking about politics. Keep this shit out of gaming. Keep it out of comic books. Keep it out of our escapist hobbies that we use to get away from all the atrocities of the real world. We don't need to be reminded about every single little negative thing that you talk about in our escapism. That's kind of the point of escapism. But again, these individuals like Kotaku, like The Gamer, and any other shill outlet, the Mary Sue, they want to just remind you, we're the good guys, and we want to force you into remembering we're the good guys by putting it in every single aspect of whatever hobby you have. Kotaku's senior editor spoke to a handful of members from the group's Discord. Like, they spoke to a handful after they went about on Twitter claiming, oh, I've infiltrated this group, as if they were Solid Snake or something, who primarily concerned about ideological worldviews that I believe have taken hold of the Western world, media, and gaming as a whole, and race and identity group quotas. In other words, the kind of stuff that caused an entire fleet of gamers to construct their own anti-woke sci-fi convention, rally against power-saving console features as that they were a big statement on climate change, or start lengthy Twitter threads about how they accurately rendered Aloy with usual amount of hair on a woman's face. Oh, really? You want to bring that up? Well, good. I will as well. Look at this photo of Aloy. This is old news. We've seen it time and time again. You cannot tell me they did not intentionally uglify this bitch because, hey, modern beauty standards. It's the age-old Barbie doll argument. How can we let children play with Barbies? It gives women such an unrealistic standard of beauty. Meanwhile, homies are over there, boys growing up playing with Goku action figures, being like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get swole. Goku, my inspiration. But no, you cannot tell me this is not intentional. Look at this girl. She looks a bit too much like Emma Watson for my taste, and I'm not a big fan of her, but let's be real, she is conventionally attractive. She's conventionally pretty. There is no way the game devs can take this face, put it on this character model, and say, well, this is the best we could do. We didn't do this intentionally. Once again, when you see games like Stellar Blade that are using entire character skins, that are using a model skin of the actual actress, and she looks perfect. Does the face look a little bit different? Yes, but that's by design. That's intentional for the actual character creation, so that, hey, this is the video game character. So yeah, go ahead, bring up Aloy. I don't see any hair on this upper lip here. Again, these are the sorts of things that they do intentionally. PC Gamer wants to make you think that you are the crazy one, that you're the insane one, or worse than that, they want to take people who are unfamiliar with these arguments. They want to take people that are on the outskirts, on the fringes, and think, hey, look at all these crazy minorities of right-wing angry gamers that don't want to see women succeed, or whatever nonsense they're trying to peddle, when people who are, just paying customers want a product that they can pay for and enjoy and love. The fact of the matter is, PC Gamer, you would think that they would be for the consumer. That's what they were. I remember getting Game Informer subscriptions as a kid, or Nintendo Power, or whatever other GamePro magazine. That was another one. I was subscribed to all three of those when I was a youngin', and you know what? Every single one of them were very pro-consumer. They were trying to give you the ins and the outs of the games. They were telling you whether they were good or bad. Maybe not Nintendo Power. They were a bit biased. Anything by Nintendo was considered good. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, GamePro, Game Informer, whatever you thought about them back in the day, at least when you were reading them as a kid, or as a teen, or a young adult, or whatever it was when you were reading these articles, you had the belief that these guys are here telling me the information I need, that way I can decide whether or not I want to spend my money, and they weren't doing it with any sort of agenda in mind. Or if they did have an agenda, it was wildly different than any sort of political, woke, ideological agenda that they have now. A situation grew in scale as some Sweet Baby Inc. employees frustrated the idea of a curated list specifically made to avoid games they work on. Yeah, you can be frustrated about that, but what do you want to do? You're going to try and take it down? Why? Because people are deciding where they want to spend their money? It's not like you even get paid when these games sell. So far as I can tell, you're a consulting company. The companies pay you to do the consulting work. It's not like you're getting percentages of what's sold, but yeah, the dude makes a curated page, and other people go to it, so you're upset that people want to know where their money is going, and then they talk about how, they've been harassed, they were frustrated, acknowledged in the group's social media. While the tweet's been removed, one employee also discovered and shared the group's Twitter account. Yeah, you say while the tweet's been removed. You don't state that Chris Kindred, this particular employee, actually got banned from Twitter temporarily for harassment, for targeted harassment of Cabrutus, the individual that was, starting this curation page. You don't mention that. You don't mention how they sent a targeted harassment campaign at Cabrutus. Instead, you want to pretend, oh, it's all these gamers throwing such a fit. We got Hora Murata here. A consultancy service has been offering advice that gamers find questionable, and gamers have begun calling out the behavior and questioning why this is even even a thing. Interesting how a publication with gamer in the title defaults to making its supposed audience the enemy, and that's why I brought up Game Pro and Game Informer and Nintendo Power, because if you're subscribed to PC Gamer, or if you're sort of on the fringes or don't know what's going on with this whole situation, or you think, hey, whatever, it's just a small amount of people, this is a targeted thing. This is not just one outlet. We got Kotaku doing this, we got PC Gamer doing this, we got IGN doing this, we got all these individuals that are supposedly game journalists all over Twitter, all over X, talking about how we, the gamers, how we're the bad guys, and they're suffering, how they're playing these victim cards. Oh, it's so hard to be a POC woman online in the age of digital gaming. Shut the hell up. Do you know how many times I was called some absolutely abhorrent things while playing games online in 2006? You let it roll off your back. It's fine. You'll be a-okay, sweetheart. When they say they're bringing back GamerGate 2 Electric Boogaloo, this is exactly what they're referring to. I mean, it's absolutely wild that GamerGate is considered as one of the major catalysts for Donald Trump, and now here we are in 2024, and we're seeing GamerGate 2, and Donald Trump is actually still on the ballot and potentially being elected again. Like, it's like George Lucas said, you know, it's like poetry. It rhymes, and you know what? I'm loving to hear this rhyme. I'm loving to hear the rhyme because this is just another chance for us to expose these individuals, for us to get the message out there and say, look at this. You are not the crazy one. You are not just making this up when you say, hey, women have been getting uglified in games lately. That's strange. Hey, there's been a weird amount of political information in games lately. Yeah, that's not you. You're not the crazy one. And I know if you're watching this, a lot of you probably know that already, but this has got to get out to other individuals. This has got to get out to the masses, to the people that might just be into other nerdy endeavors. Hey, I saw Doctor Who seem to be making a lot of weird changes. I'm not a gamer, but hey, the things you've been seeing going on in Doctor Who, yeah, that's happening in video games as well. The things you've been seeing in Star Trek, that's happening in video games as well. Or maybe for us gamers, you know, for you gamers, they're seeing this in gaming, but you're not into a lot of other nerdy endeavors. That's going on outside as well. It's happening in Magic the Gathering. It's happening in Dungeons & Dragons. It's happening in Wizards of the Coast. It's happening at Marvel Comics with the X-Men 97 show, and of course the upcoming X-Men comics. But if you go to Sweet Baby Inc.'s website, because this will be the last thing, if you go to Sweet Baby Inc.'s website, you can't call this a conspiracy. You can't say, oh, fans are just assuming they're doing this. Gamers are... It's on their website. Their About Us page, their mission statement. Founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal, because of course it would be Canada, working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching video games industry. We aim to make games engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. So you know what? If you want to call it that, if you want to say that that is exactly what Sweet Baby Inc.'s mission statement is, you cannot say they don't have an agenda. Again, it is on their page. You want proof? Right here. It is on their page. Yes, they absolutely are saying we have an agenda. Now, you may agree with that agenda. You might think that agenda is A-okay. I mean, if you're watching my channel, you probably don't agree with it. But in general, people may agree with that agenda, and that's fine, but it still is an agenda. So when gamers collectively say, we don't want agenda-driven bogus in our video games, and we're the ones, I don't know, paying $70 a game, maybe you should listen to them, because they're the ones that are voting with their wallets. They're choosing what they want. The hand of the market, the free hand of the market shall succeed. So spread this message, get the information out there. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know on Twitter, where you can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day, and I know you're getting tired of the Sweet Baby Inc. stuff, and there is other stuff to talk about, and I will talk about it, but this is quite literally a pivotal cultural moment, and it is our absolute duty to get this message out as we can. So subscribe, share, like, you guys know what to do. Follow me on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon. Check out the Discord, $4.99 a month, become a member. Vital Idol is the discount code for merch. Get yourself some money off, get a shirt or a mug, and remember, it's all here in the nerdosphere, because this has been Words of Paradise.